Well, it's that time of year again. Time to review the opening round action, the BoyleSports Irish Greyhound Derby. This year, 156 greyhounds in the opening round. A bit bigger than previous years, 26 heats in all. We've just seen the first 13 of them. Kevin, I suppose the best place to start is Heat 1. And a fine victory in this opening race for Alahon River. Really set the tone for the bookmakers. Big price, 10-1, but a very deserving winner. Showed great speed into the corner, had the pace down the back to go further clear, and dug deep to hold on from your own JT Tornado.
Yeah, look, dominated from the front, that's the name of the game, and we were talking off air earlier and you were saying the early paced inside runners are going to be hard to beat in this competition, and it looks that way. And Trap 1 popped out, made all, and was very much a worthy winner. Tornado came home pretty strong, as we know he can. He's won over 750 already. That's his game. He's not going to be in the shake-up early, but he will come home with quite a rattle. But yeah, a very much deserving winner, a good one for the bookies, a good one for the boss man to get the ball rolling, and a nice winner from Red.
Indeed, and one of the big fancies going out, Clona Blaze, the Easter Cup winner. Once he didn't get to the front, he was held up around the opening two bends, and it just wasn't going to happen for him. And again, with the likes of JT Tornado on his backside turning into the back straight, he was always vulnerable, and so it seems he's gone out of the competition.
Yeah, you summed it up there. He didn't get to dictate. If he had it would have been a different dog. And these early pacers that like to lead, when they don't get it right at the boxes, it can be an uphill battle. And like you said, with the likes of a JT Tornado turning in behind him, he was always going to pick him up going down the back. It was just a matter of could he finish in the third qualifying position, but unfortunately for connections, just got run out of it.
And indeed, 29.56, it was no fluke. Fastest time of the night.
Yeah, it was, and look, the track was probably at its best early, not taking anything away from it, but it was a brilliant performance, a good run, and more to come, I'd say.
Okay, Peter Cronin had the winner of the second heat. This was Sophie's Man, formerly known as Badminton Jet. A lightly raced greyhound, had only opened his account last time out and doubled it in good fashion. Was second into the corner, forced the lead black out of the way, and once going to the front, nothing really looked like getting to him.
No, a very impressive performance, and I even said to Peter over on the far side, one that sort of caught me off guard. He done it the right way, more familiar as Badminton Jet. I must say Sophie's Man is going to take a bit of getting used to. But yeah, really impressive the way this lad done it. I love the way he done it, really. Ripley lad didn't even see him in the race really until the bottom two bends, but flew home. And as we say, there is one or two of these stairs every year, and they just sneak through every round, and could be one like that. Catunda Logan, July 17 for McKenna. He ran in unraced up here not so long ago. He's very little racing done. I'm sure he'll improve as the competition was going on, but he'll need to step up. Yeah, Catunda Logan probably needs the inside, and he'll certainly need to lead, because 550 won't be his trip. He's probably found a bit wanting. Looking at now to Heat 3, and this went to HIGHVIEW Micro. It was a strange enough affair. HIGHVIEW Micro found himself prominent around the opening two bends, went to the front down the back straight, and in the end only really held on. There's no Derby winner in this heat. Yeah, you'd think that, Jed. It on paper it looked wide open. There was a couple of there was an A1 and an A2 dog in it, so it wasn't the strongest of heats. Sell Him Wrong is a dog I seen in the Red Mills this year, a dog that really caught my eye. I inquired about him, but Pat had beat me to it. He's a really nice dog. Lacks a yard to the corner. I thought he might improve early wise. I think there's more to come from the two than he's shown so far in his career. I do feel that, but like you said, I think he'd be clutching at straws. I think there's a Derby winner in it, but HIGHVIEW Micro for Jerry Merriman, great to see him having a winner on the night. And 29.89, it's a starting point, but he will need to lower that mark.
Indeed, yeah, Harrystown star did finish really well. It must be pointed out, he's had 46 starts, so like he's well exposed, but did finish strongly. Sell Him Wrong will need to improve his trapping, no question about that. Moving on, the next heat, Heat 4, and here we saw, well, one of the tightest finishes of the night. Red Zerardford, only for you know what he's about, you'd have said he had no chance at the third bend, but of course we know what he's about. He's a massive finisher. He's the 750 yard record holder here at Shelbourne Park. I still didn't think he'd get up at the third bend, but by God, he did some run up the home straight to collar Jamira Buddy on the line. I still thought Jamira Buddy had won in the photo finish, but Red Zerardford got the nod by a short head. He's a dog that will certainly go another round or two, I'm sure. Yeah,
look, he fits the bill that we say. One of them ones that'll be a generous price most nights he runs, but it's going to take a fair effort to keep him out of 3 qualifying positions. I had a winner of this race 3 times. Down the back I thought Jeremiah Buddy would win. Going into the third bend I thought Mertz Bohor would pick him up. I didn't even see Red Zerardford until the last bend, and 20 yards from the line I realised who he was and where he was, and I knew he was going to. I thought he would win from there. One of the strangest races. If you were laying it in running, I'd say I would have lost me dough 2 or 3 times, like I said. But yeah, very entertaining race. Delighted to see Red Zerardford getting up. He's a dog who dictated terms over the 750 here. Didn't land the big one in the Cork of Cullen, but a serious ground over 6 bends. And and one that every greyhound in this competition, the other 155, if this lad turns on your tail, you're goosed. So if you're looking for a bit of value for a dog that he'll give you a fright most nights from where the positions he'll be in, but for gears he's as good as any.
Indeed, this was one of those races where a length separated the first 4 homes. So the first 4 will qualify. They are Mertz Boher and Lenz and Austin in behind the front 2. They'll go through to the next round. 2 for Graham Holland through in that one. On now to Heat 5. And in this one, we saw Great Eastern. We flagged him. We spoke about him before racing. We knew that he was the one dog in the race. We knew what he was going to do. He was going to flash out. He was going to get to the front. He's going to be hard to pass. And so it proved. He was 8-1 in places during the week. Wasn't as big tonight, but 5-1, perhaps still a bit on the insulting side for Great Eastern. He did it well. We know Ballymac Cooper is a very fast greyhound, but he's going to have to learn how to trap.
Yeah, look, he was. I had said it to a couple of people. I thought he was the best value bet on the card, the 2 dog, purely because of the makeup of the race. I couldn't see 1 or 3 laying a glove on too early, and 4, 5, and 6. I thought Great Eastern would have it to beat Tricky's Dumbo and Blast Off Jet. Cooper was the big one, but he had a good early pacer in 4, the Select Stakes winner. He had last year's Ledger winner who got great early in 6. I know Blast Off Jet isn't the dog he was when he won the Ledger, but he still has that early pace to the corner. I thought it was a tricky enough draw for Cooper, so I really fancied the 2, and he done exactly what he says on the tin. He's a great starter. He goes down the back straight, and he's going to give you that 20. He done 29.72 tonight. He's a 29.50, 60 dog. Nearly most nights he goes into the boxes, and who knows, he might improve a little bit more. Martin Lanny, who has him, we flagged him up here a couple of years ago now. We had a dog that got to the quarter-final Derby at a big price, Jelly Flood, and this lad fits us. Not a similar profile in the style of running. He's much more early pacer, but this will be a big price most nights. He won't catch the headlines, but he's value in my book. Cooper is an extremely fast greyhound. His raw ability is unbelievable, but he like you said, does he have it to the corner? I was saying the same thing about JT Taylor here this time last year. We knew the ability he had. Could he go to the corner with the big ones when it gets going? And that's a question that I'm sure Cooper will have to answer as the Derby goes on. And on what we've seen, yeah, he does have to prove to the bend, but don't write this dog off just yet, just because he's beaten tonight. There's a serious engine under his tank.
We know that. It is worth pointing out that Ballymac Cooper had a scary moment going to the line as the leader was in front of me, check sides, and he nearly went down on his nose, and lucky to stay on his feet. And one more point there, Tricky's Dumbo, the UK Raider, pushed out of it at the corner. He'll improve, you'd imagine, for the run, and we know he's capable of better than what he showed this evening. Yeah,
without question. Look, they'll be delighted. That was a very good race. I think that the first 3 home there can potentially go 2 or 3 more rounds even. So if I was connected to the Tricky's Dumbo, I would be very, very pleased. A very, very good race, and he came through it. He will be able to dictate some nights if he gets a favourable draw, and I'm sure he's capable of 28.50 or 60. He's a select stake winner.
Heat 6 was a solo trial for Deadly Dynamite and a messy race in behind for the remainder. Deadly Dynamite did it very well indeed. My nap of the evening, I must say, thought the makeup of the draw was perfect for him. Hit the front early. He's a really progressive young dog. 29.69. As you say, the track was perhaps getting that bit a little slower as the evening went on. It was a fine run. Carl Ramsbottom can do no wrong at the present. Deadly Dynamite, a dog that's not 2 years of age until next month, is clearly a dog going the right way and could yet develop into a Derby contender.
He very much could. I think we'll all have to get earplugs if he does become one, because I see Carl and Kilkenny have a Wednesday and a Friday night when if he wins a greater race down there. I don't know what he'll be like if he wins the Derby, but yeah, look, he flew out with lids. That's his game. He another dog that came from the Red Mills. He's got brilliant early pace. He had a brilliant makeup tonight in Trap 1, and like you said, the rest, it was a war of attrition. It was very messy at the opening corner, one getting tumbled over there as well. So like, he might not get through, but Trap 3, Sweep the Yard, a January 18 puppy. If you watch this race back, he actually stopped at the first bend and looked at 5, taking the bump. And I think he's only beaten about a length to qualify in 3rd. I don't think he'd probably qualify as a fastest 4th. But as a January 18, the Con Kirby, things like that, put him in your notebook. That's a fair pup.
Yeah, he is 30-44 tonight. I don't think it's going to be good enough unless there are a few wide margin winners tomorrow night. Heat 7 on your card. This went to Vic Vega. This was a remarkable run. We said there was 1 or 2 fast finishers that were perhaps suited by the conditions tonight. Well, Vic Vega was last on the corner, found himself 4th into the back, flew to the 3rd bend to go 3rd, was still plenty of ground to make up, but he flew up the home straight to collar sleeve league in the dying strides, denying Carl Ramsbottom a double. But Vic Vega for Declan Beery, a good winner. Listen, he's not going to win a Derby, but it was a hell of a run tonight. 29.90 coming from lengths and lengths off the pace.
Yeah, fits the profile again. He will need to brush up a little bit early, and one that will probably be suited by a bit of trouble. I must say there was a bit of trouble in this one. I'm not sure, I haven't seen it back in the video, but I was standing at the far side and Slieve League and Bakery Lane came together once or twice before the third bend. Look, they're two early pace runners that like to dictate, and they took the heads off each other, in, as the phrase goes, trying to get to the front and dictate. Slieve League, she may be small, but she's gutsy, because she was giving it to Bakery Lane into that third bend, trying to hold her position. They cost themselves a lot of ground, in my opinion, there. But you have to say, Vic Vega came from the clouds. Future is definitely over further, and one definitely to keep an eye on.
Just a point there, Liam O'Rourke had one or two dogs that went well a few rounds last year, and Gerano Max, a good local greyhound, ran very well in third spot, and you never know, there could be another round or two left in him. We move on to the 8th race on the card, and this one I'm sure you'll be delighted to talk about. JT Taylor, I know you were certain he was going to badly need the run, but so too was Ballyan Sim, and the two of them, they were like two heavyweight boxers in round 15 up the home straight, but they got there, and it was a great finish with JT Taylor coming out on top, the first time they'd met since last year's Derby final. This time JT Taylor exacting some revenge, but I'm sure the connections of Ballyan Sim will be more than delighted with their night's work.
Yeah, look, both of us are. Like you said, two dogs that badly needed a run. I know it's well highlighted now that Eamon and Mark said that they needed a couple of runs. It was touch and go whether they got in. But you have to say, he's some dog to break out of boxes. He's some dog to a corner. He's just so reliable, Ballyan Sim. I've yet to see him missing it anyway. He's a great servant for them, and a brilliant dog. And I've no doubt that run will bring him on just as much as it'll bring on Taylor. I expect Taylor to improve significantly. I was over the moon with the way he ran. He broke poorly, probably 5th out of the boxes, but I did like the way I saw him going to the bend tonight. I know he went up. It might not have been the strongest of heats, but he did show more early than he did last year. Ran very wide off the last bend, probably tiring. He just does need to run. That's his first race since getting put out with the English Derby semi-final, and we were very easy on him since then. So look, more room to improve. I'd like to think he will, and fingers crossed he can stay, and I still think he'll be there in the shake-up.
I told your father put a middle on him. He told me to go away.
Yeah, you told me.
We move on to the 9th race on the card, and this was Heat 9, of course. Toolmaker Me Dad, a highly unsatisfactory race. The less we talk about it, the better. Burgess Books was in the process of getting involved after missing the kick. It was a very messy affair. Listen, Toolmaker Me Dad is a dog with a lot of ability. He walked from traps, but found himself in front on the back straight. He went on to win. Fair play to Willie and to Robert. He's a nice dog. He'll do considerably faster, but 30-47, I think the less we say about this race, the better.
Yeah, look, you have to just console Pat and the team. Burgess Books is an extremely good dog, and look, I'm sure they might breed a few bitches to him and stuff like that, and I wouldn't tell anyone not to go to him. Pat thinks he was as good a dog as he's ever had. Very sad scenes over the far side with him, but look, Toolmaker Me Dad capitalised on his opportunity. They just bumped each other everywhere they went, and it was just one of those races. Yeah, you could nearly knock a second off that clock. I think Toolmaker Me Dad will break 29.50 in this Derby, so it won't surprise me if he does take literally a second off it. Ballydale Valor is a very good, consistent dog. I'm sure we'll go a couple of more rounds. Artford Rooster, good early pacer, has been winning over 600 and below in Limerick. Will need to improve as the Derby goes on, but you couldn't really talk about that one. Like you said, it was just a very messy affair.
Yeah, very messy and fair indeed. Now on to Heat 10, and this one, well, we saw a red hot favourite overturned, Ballymac Arminta, arguably Ireland's fastest bitch, along with Kilmacdonough. Tonight, though, it didn't happen for her. She was third into the bend after a good start, was forced out of the way by the Jack's Tornado dog, a bitch in amongst dogs, but Droopy's Hunch, she didn't have any problem. Another of the fairer sex, she showed fine early speed to lead into the bend, was headed by Ravens O'Jugo, but just took off down the back straight, went to the front, and emerged a very comfortable winner in 29.61. This one is still a puppy. She is a very bright prospect indeed. We've known that for a few weeks now at this point, but she continues to get better, and the 550 yards was no problem to her tonight.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned about the 550 for her, to be fair. I thought, look, her early pace is absolutely unbelievable. She's roughly a year younger than Arminta, and I'm not saying it's the passing of the handle over just yet, but I'm not saying she'll be as good as Arminta, because I think Arminta is as good a bitch as we've had in years. But Droopy's Hunch is absolutely exceptional. Murty Lahey's getting some tune out of this lady. He told me over beyond that this one is a 16.26 Donegal Kenny. Now that is just off the charts. I well believe it. She is an absolute rocket to the corner. I thought she'd really struggle to get home over 550 because of the early she has. 29.61 on a track I thought wasn't absolutely flying. It's a brilliant run. She will lead an awful lot of them in this competition, and she's one that I think can go very, very far. Arminta is the best bitch in the country. in my opinion, Kilmacdonough supporters, she's very close second in my opinion. But I just think Arminta is just outstanding. Don't rule her out yet. She'll be back. She ran well down the back straight. Just things got a little bit tight for her at the corner. And a special word for Ravenswood Hugo, a dog who's had hock injuries in the past, been off for 7 months, come back probably better than he ever was. And he's a dog that, same thing, pops out, gives his all every night, and definitely capable of going a couple more rounds.
Yeah, Ravenswood Hugo. If you have an early pacer on the inside, you don't want Ravenswood Hugo around you, because you know one thing he'll do is go to a corner. On now to Heat 11, Run Happy, perhaps one of the most straightforward and impressive winners of the night. Another of the deadly dynamite sort of mould, that profile, a young dog. He's only 2 since July. This dog is going places. He ran up the Champion Stakes and he's getting better every single night he goes to a track. Tonight was a thoroughly professional and likeable display.
Yeah, the most impressive winner for me tonight. Most impressive dog on the card for me tonight. Loghill Blake came on the scene here in the first round of the Derby when he won it, and really blew me away, and I was on his side from that point on. He wasn't as impressive as Loghill Blake was the first night, but he was very close. I thought this dog was exceptional tonight. A dog that sort of surprised me in the Champion Stakes with his early pace. He showed tonight it was no fluke. Trap 3 JT Storm, one of our dogs, he's got good early. He won a good unraced egg blowing in his Carty. He done 29.50 here last week. He done 3.35 up here last week. He trapped in front of him, and the way Run Happy went by him to the corner, like, that's serious early boot. So a dog that is definitely going the right way. It was brilliant to see for Pat and the family after earlier on with Burgess Buck. So a dog that has definitely gone way up in my estimations, and a dog I definitely don't want to be landing in on the inside of me with Taylor. So yeah, very, very impressive, and for me the most impressive dog on the night. It's
worth noting that Pat actually had a 1-2. Jamira Sprite just holding off the flying finish of Our Surprise, who caught the eye in defeat. He's another fast greyhound, one that will go down as a potential qualifier in future rounds. On so to Heat 12, and here Worse for Wear emerged a good winner. Dive right from trap 5. I know he's a middle seed. If I am on his outside, I'm worried. Worse for Wear. He did dive right straight away from traps, but showed good pace to get to the front, and once doing so, always seemed to have the upper hand. Braveheart Bobby, you could just see he was scratching a bit down the back straight. He was obviously in bad need of the run. He finished fourth, 30.27. I'm not sure it's going to be good enough for him to go through, but a good run by Worse for Wear. Swift Shamrock ran on strongly for second spot. A dog that probably lacks a yard of early, and Dunabook in third, but this was all really about Worse for Wear.
Yeah, a dog I've been very impressed with. I watched him a lot below in Waterford in his unraced day, because he's off our own breed out of Clara Missy, and he doesn't run like an 82-pound dog. He doesn't look an 80-pound dog when he's running. He's got lovely early pace. Like you said, he steps right. We were beyond in England, and he was on the inside of Taylor, and literally first stride he was out underneath Taylor's feet. So he definitely will step right out of boxes. But he's a dog that's got brilliant early pace. He's good down the back, and he stays. He's got all the boxes. People started to notice him over in England in the English Derby this year. I think he went around over there a very quick time. Can't remember it now, but he's a dog that's going the right direction. A dog I've always been impressed with. He's won over 50% of his races in a brief career. Braveheart Bobby, yeah, just got run out of a close home. Probably needed to lead. Would have definitely fitted into the Ballyan same JT Taylor category of they came into the Derby undercooked, needing a run or two just to get him up to match fitness, let's call it, and just unfortunately got run out. But Swift Shamrock and Dunabook will be happy for Connections to be going into the next round.
We move on, Heat 13, and this was supposedly the Graham Holland affair. I'm afraid it wasn't meant to be. Graham was denied. It was Slippy Keane who was his leading hope in terms of the finishing order. Clonbrine Prince was a big name casualty, but Johnny Linhan completing a fine double. Drewby's Pension, we know he has good early speed. He really relished the 550 run up. I thought he'd be susceptible late, but Slippy Keane couldn't land a blown up thumb straight, and in fairness, Drewby's Pension got to the line, 29.76, a good run and a good double for Johnny.
Yeah, it's a very good run from Johnny. This was the heat of death, I suppose, when the draw was made. You could see this heat in the quarter final of the Derby. I think Graham will get 3 through here. I think Ballyhimmock and Board will probably go through as the fastest for it. I think he done about 29.97. I think he'll probably get through. But saying that, Drewby's Pension didn't trap great, but showed lovely early to the corner. Outpaced the rest of them in a good race to the corner. Like Slippy Keane's got good early. Very impressed with Johnny's dog to the bend. Was tiring a little bit close home. Slippy Keane, I suppose, another one that probably needed to run. Hasn't had a whole lot of racing this year. I'm sure we'll see more from him. I'm sure Connections will be delighted. Toto's Park, similar, ran very well in defeat. Ballyhimmigan Bolt, I think he'll probably go through. Conbrian Prince, definitely the big casualty, one of the most fancied dogs for the Derby. Unfortunate to see him going out, but Johnny was on fire tonight and drew his pension, landing the last.
Indeed, Johnny did land the last. A good win and a good double for Johnny Linnan. There'll be more of the same tomorrow night here at Shelbourne Park, but as you'd expect, the opening round has thrown up some shocks. It's shown up some fine displays, some heartbreak, and well, there'll be elation in a few weeks' time. But for the moment, we don't know what the Derby winner will be. Join us for more clues next time.